Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'll explain the process of getting my tank ready for when I go away on fieldwork. Anyone that keeps a marine tank will know the cost, dedication and time that it takes to maintain these systems. And one of the main concerns of people who keep these tanks is what am I going to do with it when I go away for long periods. As a marine scientist, I'm often working away in remote locations with little to no internet access for up to 2 to 3 weeks at a time. Therefore, it is important that I prepare my tank each time I go away and have systems in place in case something goes wrong. I am also very fortunate that I have an amazing wife who takes an interest in this tank and does the best she can to look after it when I'm gone. However, I do feel that it is unfair to expect other people to put the same amount of time and effort into the tank as we do, especially when they are looking after it for you out of love. So anything that we can do to our tanks to prepare them to make them as low maintenance as possible will help to ensure that they survive whilst we are away. In the days leading up to my trip, I'll often go to the local fish shop where I'll purchase some water to do a water change and extra food so that my wife doesn't have to go out and buy it later. My automatic feeder was also broken, so it was a good excuse to go and purchase a new one. I generally only do a 20 litre water change, however when I'm going away I up it to 40 litres for good measure. If you want to know specifics about how I clean my reef aquarium, then you can see one of my previous videos that I posted. I generally do a pretty thorough clean of this tank when I'm going away. However, thanks to the roller mat, the tank is generally pretty clean and my nutrients always stay pretty low. I know that some people prefer not to clean the sand beds. However, in my experience, I have found that cleaning it at least once every 2 weeks helps to keep the sand bed turned over and healthy, as well as minimising detritus and algal buildup on the sand itself. As you can see, the water that I pull out is generally pretty dirty. I also give the sump a little bit of a clean as it generally builds up with a lot of sponges and detritus. I'll always stop and admire the reef mid-water change. I love how it reminds me of natural reefs during low tide. I never really worry about warming up the water before I put it back into the tank. In natural reef systems you get thermoclines of a few degrees in temperature, therefore I'm not too worried if the tank drops by 2 to 3 degrees. I also take this opportunity to clean off any stubborn bits of algae that my flipper magnet can't normally get to. I also clean the weir box at the back to prevent any blockages in flow. Next I give my skimmer a good clean. I generally clean it once every 1 to 2 weeks. Next I top up all my dosing supplements. I pay particular attention to alkalinity as my tank seems to go through quite a lot of it. I also check my roller mat and clean the water sensors. Next I check the salinity of the tank. As I'm dosing a lot, my salinity tends to creep upwards over time. Therefore, for long trips, I like to make sure that my salinity is at 34 ppt. As I use natural seawater for my water changes, I like to add a few trace elements into the tank after. I'll also get my wife to add a few drops to the tank every couple of days whilst I am away. Next I make up about 40 litres of RODI water. This should be enough to last at least 3 weeks. One of the best things I've bought for the tank that enables me to monitor the health of the livestock is just a cheap webcam. I can log on to this anywhere in the world and check on the health of my fish. Next I have this cool aquarium monitor from Cactatoily. Like the webcam, I can access it anywhere in the world and I am able to track a range of parameters. These devices help me to ensure that the tank is healthy whilst I am away and I don't come back to any ugly surprises. I also have my reef mat and ATO connected to my ReefBeat app. Being able to access these devices really helps to reduce my anxiety whilst I am away. Next I go around the tank and visually inspect all the corals and fish to make sure that everyone's looking healthy. I also keep an eye out for any corals that are either touching each other or close to touching each other. This means that then I can go and give them a trim to ensure that no coral warfare happens whilst I am away. If left untreated, the effects of coral warfare may open corals up to other infections. This in turn can lead to rapid tissue necrosis. I test my alkalinity levels weekly. This ensures that my dosing regime is keeping up with the rate at which the corals are sucking the alkalinity out of the water. If I find that my alk levels have either dropped or risen significantly, I can adjust it accordingly. I've tried a range of different alkalinity testers, and from my experience both the Hannah checkers, which I'm using here, and the Salifert checkers are probably the best bang for buck. I have used the Red Sea ones in the past, however I do not like how inaccurate they are in terms of the drop sizes that you need for the titrations. Both the Hannah checkers and the Salifert checkers do this volumetrically instead. I aim to keep my alkalinity anywhere between 8 and 8.6, so 8.5 is in the acceptable range. Next it is time to set up my automatic feeder. I generally always run an auto feeder, however the previous one I had broke. I generally set it to feed twice a day, once in the morning and once at night. I generally fill it with a mix of Ocean Nutrition and Hikari pellets. Calibrating the amount it dispenses can take a bit of time, but it's important to do so that you're not overfeeding and also not underfeeding the fish. I then mount it above my tank on my light rack. This means that it is far enough away from the water that it doesn't get any salt creep, and also means that it doesn't look ugly sitting on the edge of the glass. I mount it so that the pellets fall directly into a high flow area and then are distributed throughout the tank. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I hope that this video has given you some ideas on how you can prepare your tank the next time you go away on holidays.